Believe it or not, but the Boxster badge is now 20 years old. And in that time, it's gone from a derided junior sports car to reach the highs of the current Spider and GTS models. Little by little, it's managed to step out from behind the 911's long shadow to create a legacy all of its own. This latest generation is set to sever ties with Porsche's rear-engine flagship completely. It's got a new name taken from the past, a new design inside and out, and a new pair of turbocharged four-cylinder engines. And we're here in Portugal to find out exactly what this new chapter feels like. Now, if you're really excited about this car, then you've probably seen a couple of videos shot in the UK already, but this review is going to do two things that those didn't. First of all, we've come to Lisbon because we figured some sunshine and having the roof down might be quite nice when testing a roadster, and British springtime can be more than a little parky. And second of all, we're here to test the standard Boxster rather than the S, and that is because this car is usually the pick of the range, and it's the best seller. Believe it or not, almost every panel on this car is new. Important things to notice from the outside include the oval exit exhaust, although cars like the Boxster S and this one with the sports exhaust have a twin exit design. You've got new light clusters front and rear with a 4-point LED layout, and also this raised Porsche badge along the back of the boot lid spoiler. The brakes on this base model have been upgraded. They're the same ones you used to get on the old Boxster S, while the faster 718 that borrows its braking system from the 911. You get 18-inch alloys as standard, 19s on the Boxster S, but these 20s are optional whichever version you go for.
Nothing was really wrong with the way the Boxster looked though, and I'll let you make up your own minds about the styling of the 718, but there are some urgent updates which are much needed here in the cabin. It's got the latest Porsche infotainment system with a much clearer touchscreen in the centre of the dash, Apple CarPlay for the first time, and an uprated stereo as well. Interior quality has gone up just enough to merit a mention, and this new steering wheel comes with a rotary selector down here, lets you flick more easily between the Sport and Sport Plus modes when you're on the move. Oh, and it's got newly shaped air vents too, which I think you'll agree make all the difference. Enough information overload though, it's time to find out how the 718 sounds and how it drives.
So it's still mid-engine, it's still rear-wheel drive, and you can still choose between a sweet shifting 6-speed manual like the one I've got in this car, or the optional PDK 7-speed automatic gearbox. But this new engine really is a seismic shift for the 718. The sweet, revvy, naturally aspirated 2.7 litre flat 6 is gone, and it's been replaced by this 2 litre flat 4 single turbo engine with 296 brake horsepower. Now, Porsche, in its typically Germanic way, has broken this change down into a series of seemingly random numbers. So you get 35 brake horsepower more than you used to get in the standard car, you get 35% more torque, and it's 13% more efficient. But those are just numbers dancing around on a graph, so what does it actually feel like on the road? Well, for a start, that sound is a bit of a shock. It's going to take some getting used to as well. At idle, it sounds a bit like a Subaru WRX STI, but without the wastegate noise, and when you really press on, you still get this just hard, hollow drone. There's no kind of rush or crescendo. It just doesn't give you that spine-tingling feeling like the old car used to. That might sound a bit churlish, but it's quite a big factor if you're driving around with the roof down and you want to hear some exhaust noise burbling away. Still, the performance figures have improved. The 718 will do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.1 seconds with a manual gearbox, 4.7 seconds. That's just for the standard car if you opt for the PDK with the Sport Chrono Pack. The handling though is not likely to leave anyone feeling short-changed. This version we're driving now is the lightest Boxster you can buy, tipping the scales at 1,335 kilos without fluids. It's got a new steering gear borrowed from the 911 Turbo, which to me feels a bit like taking parts from a sledgehammer and putting them on a scalpel, but hey, if it works, it works. It's supposed to be more direct than before, and you've also got little bits of GT4 underneath in the rear suspension, and wider rear tyres on every single model in the range, which gives you more lateral grip. You can feel those working too. This car feels really unstickable on dry tyres and dry tarmac, and yesterday on track when we were driving, you had to really provoke the car to get it to slide. Although there is a new halfway house mode on the stability control, which allows you to play around a bit more with the car's angles and balance without losing the safety net of having the systems catch you if you really get it wrong. The Boxster has set the dynamic standards in the roadster class for years, and that's not going to change with the 718. The weight of the controls, the oily precision of the steering, just the general inherent balance you get from this mid-engine rear drive layout, those are all still there. But because of the engine, you just feel less like you want to exploit the chassis. It's probably about this time that I should confess something, which is that my current long-term car is an Audi TT Roadster, which also costs £40,000, also has a 2-litre turbocharged engine, and also has 300 brake horsepower. It's not quite as involving to drive as this Porsche, but it also sounds better, and I never thought I'd hear myself saying that about a TT. Make no mistake, the 718 is still a brilliant car to drive. The handling is class leading, a wonderful balance of agility, poise and comfort. And yet, even with that improved interior and surprising practicality, it feels like this new engine has ripped out the heart and soul of what this car is all about. And it feels like Porsche has sacrificed an awful lot for a few extra miles per gallon.